Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Friday, and I have a very serious topic to discuss. It is partisan conflict. It is something we have talked about and predicted for years now that is coming. And it is taking the usual route. That is, we all kind of expect to see some sort of Hollywood conflict erupting on the streets between disagreements with people, yada, yada, yada. But it's more than that, folks. Everything that happens is influenced, created, and sometimes started with politics. That is what you believe. Our politics we kind of genericize it, if you will. There's a word we can make up where we create this idea, this world, that politics is separate from everything else. Politics is its own little cube, and everything else exists around it. It doesn't have to necessarily touch. Well, that is absolutely incorrect. Politics is our belief systems. Politics is so much more than just Republican or Democrat. Politics is our morality. Politics is our belief in the way the world should be run. So one side in politics believes we shouldn't be free, and the other side says we should be free. Today's modern politics, to break it down very simply, is the government is always right, and the other one is you should question government and think for yourself. That is the nature of the political environment today. It is elitism versus individualism. It is autocracy versus Republican democracy. That is, we get to vote for what we believe in, versus autocracy, which is dictatorship. Okay, now, what is happening is we are coming closer to the point where we're going to have literal partisan conflict on the streets. We have watched as cerveza bug madness has been used to divide the people even further, back even more over Trump derangement syndrome, which separated off the most left of leftists. But they've also used now cerveza bug, right, to divide us further, to create more strife. And I've noted for the past several weeks, but certainly this week the most, that there is angst and tension because of the mandates of a political decision that was made. That is, the autocrats, the totalitarians in government have decided they're going to mandate an individual's choice by saying you must get the Jim Jones juice or you're going to be punished. Now, at the end of the week here, Biden has gone nuclear. He has gone off the hook because Republican governors have said no, at least 24 of them, at least. 24 have said, no way, we're going to fight you on this. We're going to fight you on this. You can't mandate from the pen of the president, like a dictator, what is done in the private world in states. You can't do it, not allowed. So they've said they're going to resist it. They're going to sue. They're going to fight it. They're going to not enforce it. Well, the president, Gigi Biden, has basically singled out Texas and Florida, as well as several other states, but Texas and Florida are the big ones because he has had the most trouble with governors Abbott and DeSantis. And so he has decided, using his government power, if you will, Joe Biden has decided to cut the amount of medicine that is sent into Florida. You know, he made a decision. Joe Biden did. He made a decision to pull everything out of Afghanistan. And people have suffered, people have died, people have lost everything. It is incredible. And now he's willing to do this for politics. Politics, again, is your morality, your belief system that is carried out through a political body and the political will of a nation. It is horrifying to see who, right, is dictating the politics. It is horrifying to see the consequences of this political crap. Now, DeSantis has responded and said, I will fight like hell to stop Joe Biden. What he's responding to is Gigi Biden's decision to cut in half the number of antibody treatments that are being sent to Florida. Now, it's not sent to the state of Florida. It's sent to Florida, into Florida, where Americans live. Now, what is this monoclonal antibody treatments? They are early treatments that save lives. It is an antibody. It is not a vaccine. It is a treatment. Now, I have my own opinions about what treatments work best, but that's not what this is about. This is about government sanctioned treatments being cut in half. It is a political punishment. You know, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, Florida, Texas are being singled out because they're red states and they are more free. And they're red states and they are resisting any mandates. So the Biden White House, using its bureaucratic arms, they're cutting the amount of treatments so that more people are punished. Jen Psaki, White House spokesperson, says it's equitable distribution, not equal distribution, like maybe apportioned, equally distributed according to a population. It is equitable distribution. Now, equity means fair. So she is saying, hey, it's fine. It's fair to do this. In other words, it is partisan. It's coming down to their belief systems, the radical left. Their belief systems over here on the left are what's at the heart, the root of this decision. Equitable distribution. In other words, fuck you to Florida and Mississippi and Texas and other states, Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama. A big F you. Now, if you put your hand on somebody and cause them to die, that is called murder. It's an act of violence. If it's your job to hand somebody food that sustains them, and you take back that food, and they aren't sustained and they die, that is still an act. It wasn't violent. Right? It didn't cause instantly the death, but the withholding of necessary, what is necessary, whether it's food or medicine, whatever it is, if you withhold what is necessary as a punishment and it causes death, is that not illegal, unlawful? Is that not an act of murder? Well, it's arguable, isn't it? After all, the government doesn't have to do anything, or does it? But more importantly, folks, than this is the bigger picture. And I want to go big picture now. We've been talking about partisan conflict. The political left versus us normal people right in the middle. I don't like to say way over on the right. No. Free people. People who like their own choices in life. This is becoming exactly what it needs to be. The real story. Free choice. And keying on the word free. Free to decide. Free to choose. Free to move about. Free to think. free to speak. The political left is not like any of that. You're not free to invest because of all of their rules. They direct and push people into their little programs they like. And it's harder to invest freely when someone is punishing you for making your own decisions. Partisan conflict, folks. Stay calm, but it's coming. They are giving us reason after reason after reason to dislike the person in the other party. They're giving us reason after reason after reason for the other party to dislike us and to state they want to commit acts of violence against us. They want to come after us and take our rights. They want to take our property. They want to force us to behave. They want to force us to think as they do. They want to force us to choose to be like them. The political left is pushing for partisan conflict. Now, if you are pushed, you can walk away sometimes. If you're pushed up against a wall, you can't go any further. And if someone starts hitting you, punishing you, eventually you're going to have to fight back. And so we're seeing normal people now saying, hey, 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 you can't push me like this. You can't hurt me like this. You can't take from me, withhold from me to cause harm. And in the case of people who are sick, irreparable harm, that is, they can cause death. I have heard from people all around the country who are talking about their work. The people at work are now distrusting of each other. They're sneering at each other. They're making accusations. They're looking at each other as the enemy, in other words. This isn't a government against the people, folks. The government is using the political left partisans to push against us. Yeah, social pressure, peer pressure. Remember when we were told you shouldn't use peer pressure to make people take drugs? You shouldn't use peer pressure to make people drink alcohol. You shouldn't use peer pressure to cause people to have sex. You shouldn't use your power over others, your position of authority as an employer, a supervisor, a manager, right? Using undue pressure because of your position of power and authority in a company to force others to do things they don't want to do. Now, most often this is regarded and thought about in sexual harassment cases. But no, we're talking about this right here. Medical, forcing people, using political power and pressure to force people to make decisions they don't want to. It is going to cause conflict. It is coming. This is one more step. And causing people to die by withholding useful, legitimate medical treatments, the medicine. How wrong is that? What is Biden doing? He's going to cause partisan conflict. We've seen it over social issues like race and the LGBT movement. We're seeing it in the education system with critical race theory, making everything about race, politicizing race, politicizing everything. And now they've politicized medicine. They've politicized the military. They've politicized everything to cause people to take sides. And the more they push the left to socialism and communism and fascism, all the tenets of those things are together. The more they push them for that, the more normal people who like freedom and liberty and the Constitution, our culture, our tradition, our histories, right? We all have individual histories, and then we have a community history, a national history, the real history, that is that tyranny is always what we oppose. and that it is tyranny that forces on us, right, the need to defend ourselves. Right? The American revolutionaries, and I caught this in a little movie yesterday. Again, the discussion about the founding fathers and calling them terrorists came up, and it infuriated me, right? It was a little cute quip, right? One man's patriot is another man's terrorist, talking about the founding fathers. In other words, whoever wins the battle gets to write the history. Whoever wins the battle, that those partisans get to claim righteousness. Here we are again, folks, in the United States of America this time. The sides are being chosen. People are being divided. They're dehumanizing us and saying it's okay in Florida if those people die, if more of them die. It's fair, right, Jen Psaki? It's equitable. We need to understand this as preppers, right? You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. You need these things. Those are useful resources that we're gathering for ourselves and creating a plan to deal with the situation, but understanding how it's coming about so you know what area you're in, what to expect as they push harder and harder for this conflict. As the left makes more and more demands and more accusations, as they call for health camps or gulags, as they call for wellness centers, or as we would call them, right, FEMA camps, government concentration camps, intern camps, deprogramming, as cute little Katie Couric called it, re-education to get your mind right. They want to bring you from a free thinker over to their side, which is obey, obey, obey. They're pushing for that more and more. And there is going to come conflict. Another week, another month, another year. I don't know. I just know it's coming. People are mad, and now people are going to die. The Joe Biden decisions in Afghanistan have caused deaths. Massive loss of treasure. Mark Milley coming out or being exposed for what he did is causing massive partisan divide. Why? Because nothing is being done about what many consider to be his treasonous acts. And now we have Joe Biden again saying, I'm going to cut, not just saying, but doing, cutting the treatments necessary to save people's lives because he wants to punish Florida, Floridians. He wants to punish Texas and Texans. He wants to punish Alabama. He wants to punish all of these places. And by punishing those places, he punishes the people and they die. Texas is part of the union at this point, which means the federal government has a duty. It has an obligation. That's its job. It doesn't get to choose how many. It's supposed to just do its job and help all that it can. It's Friday, folks. It's Friday, the end of the week. And I may as well do it right here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at that. That is the beautiful, coveted Horse's Ass Award. And this week it goes to General Milley, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That's right, General Milley, known affectionately as Milli Vanilli, for the exposure he got in Woodward's book having to do with what happened over the last few years and those exact actions that Mark Espy and then Milli Vanilli called the Chinese to let them know on 2 occasions that they would do all that they can to keep China informed of what's going on in America and not to worry, because they'll make sure that any orders given by the President of the United States, at that time Donald Trump, would not be obeyed if they were to affect China. Yeah, a lot of people are calling that treason. And once again, it is partisan. But we have a Benedict Arnold in our midst when it comes to General Milley. We have a Benedict Arnold, right? And he's chosen within the country, one of the political parties. He has chosen to politicize the military and put it on the side that is not about American freedom and liberty, law and order, justice, Constitution, etc. I haven't changed, folks. My language is the same. My thoughts are the same. Anyone who would destroy someone else is an enemy. Anyone that would destroy you becomes your enemy. A lot of people have proclaimed themselves to be my enemy, right? But rather than fighting them individually or specifically, I am doing the best I can and being a good person and coming out to you guys and saying, get prepared, help other people get prepared. Understand they're the ones who are always attacking us. And the moment you fight back, just ask Nicki Minaj, the moment you question them, they attack you. And they say you're the bad person for standing up for yourself and that you're the evil person for believing what you do. And they use all their power, folks. They use the power of government. They use the power of media. They use the power in the legal system. They use the power of the military. They use the power of business, job, opportunity, livelihood to hurt everyone. Get prepared, folks. Chance favors the prepared mind. And I think we're all seeing that. Share this video with others. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you are not yet a member on YouTube. And then also go to patreon.com. Search The Prepared Mind, and you can join us daily for Q&A live on The Prepared Mind on Patreon. I'll see you guys later very soon. The week is wrapped up. They wrapped up the week. You guys be cool. Semper Fi. Godspeed.